On our website, you can get PDF learning materials for free. Please visit englist.me.
Military.
Relating to or characteristic of members of the armed forces, of or relating to war or warfare.
Examples:
A military operation. A military leader. The military academy was known for its strict discipline and training.
Statistics.
The discipline that concerns the collection, organization, analysis, interpretation, and presentation of data.
Examples:
Statistics for cancer. Official statistics. The statistics demonstrate that poverty and unemployment are genuine problems.
Deploy.
To move troops or weapons into a position or military action, to bring into something in an effective way.
Examples:
Deploy troops for battle. Deploy safety measures. This country deployed its weapons in the East region.
Modern.
Of or belonging to the present time or recent times.
Examples:
Modern poetry. Pre-modern agricultural society. Their headquarters are in a modern skyscraper.
Personnel.
A group of people who are employed in an organization or one of the armed forces, the department responsible for hiring, training, and placing employees.
Examples:
Competent personnel. Personnel evaluation. Please forward the resumes to the personnel department.
Obvious.
Easy to see, discover, or understand.
Examples:
Obvious reasons. His conclusion was obvious. There are obvious differences between the two wine-producing regions.
Tradition.
A belief, custom, or way of doing something that has been passed down from generation to generation within a group or society.
Examples:
A tradition of a culture. Against tradition. It is a tradition in many families to have a big Thanksgiving dinner with all their relatives.
Bunch.
A grouping of several similar things which are growing or fastened together.
Examples:
A bunch of trees. A bunch of schoolgirls. One bad apple spoils the whole bunch.
Equip.
To provide a person or a place with the things that are needed for a particular purpose or activity.
Examples:
Equip an army. Equip our children with some special skills. The construction company equipped the building with an earthquake-resistant device.
Lethal.
Causing or capable of causing death, extremely dangerous.
Examples:
Lethal injection. Lethal weapon. Malignant hypertension is the most lethal form of hypertension.
Checkpoint.
A designated location or point along a route or journey where travelers are required to stop and undergo a security or documentation check.
Examples:
Checkpoint security, military checkpoint. The airport security checkpoint was crowded with passengers waiting to board their flights.
Hostile.
Unfriendly or aggressively opposed.
Examples:
Take up a hostile attitude. Hostile environment. The hostile takeover of the company was met with resistance from the employees.
Suicide.
The act of killing yourself intentionally.
Examples:
Commit suicide. Suicide attack. In an economically prosperous country, most male suicide is due to child support problems.
Bomb.
A weapon that explodes and is used to kill or injure people or to cause damage to something.
Examples:
Atomic bombs. Disarm the bomb. The use of cluster bombs is strictly prohibited by international law.
Afterward.
After the time mentioned.
Examples:
A few years afterward. Go there afterward. We will explain the countermeasure concerning this problem afterward.
Innocent.
Not guilty of a crime, offense, etc., not having an evil mind or knowledge.
Examples:
An innocent child. Thousands of innocent people. My husband was found innocent of any crime.
Balk.
To hesitate or stop abruptly before completing an action, often due to fear, uncertainty, or opposition, to refuse to comply with or agree to something.
Examples:
Balk at extra work. Balk in fear. After her first attempt to bake a cake failed, she didn't balk at trying again.
Collateral.
Something of value pledged as security against a loan or debt, something that is related or complementary to something else, often as a secondary consequence.
Examples:
Collateral damage. Collateral agreement. The loan was secured with collateral, requiring the borrower to put up their house as a guarantee.
Damage.
To harm or cause injury to something or someone, often resulting in decreased value or functionality, to impair or negatively affect something, such as a reputation or relationship. Noun, harm or injury that is caused to a person, thing, or entity.
Examples:
Damage a relationship. Damage assessment. During the surgery, the doctor had to be extremely cautious not to damage a blood vessel.
Autonomous.
Capable of governing or controlling its affairs.
Examples:
development of autonomous vehicles, an autonomous judiciary. 5 of the 6 provinces will become autonomous regions under the new federal system of government.
Decision:
the act or process of making up someone's mind about something, a choice or judgment reached after considering options.
Examples:
decision authority, a selfish decision. She was struggling to make a decision between 2 job offers.
Loop:
a shape like a curve or a circle made by something long and thin, such as a piece of string, that bends round and crosses itself.
Examples:
exit from a loop, positive feedback loop. Many people in this city use the loop railway for transportation.
Develop:
to grow or expand, to improve or refine through a process of progress and refinement, often to achieve greater sophistication or complexity, to elaborate or add detail to something that is in the process of being created.
Examples:
develop a strategy, develop a skill. We must develop a new system to streamline our workflow and increase efficiency.
Spray:
a fine mist of liquid that is dispersed into the air, flower arrangement consisting of a single branch or shoot bearing flowers and foliage.
Examples:
a spray of mist, an insect spray. The artist used a spray paint can to create a graffiti mural on the wall.
Dazzling:
shining brightly, highly attractive or exciting.
Examples:
dazzling debut, dazzling views. Last night, the team delivered dazzling performance.
Laser:
a device that emits powerful and narrow light that can be used as a tool to cut metal through a process of optical amplification.
Examples:
laser printer, pulse laser. The company holds patents on core components of laser jet printers.
Intent:
a strong determination or attention to do or achieve something. Adjective, having a strong determination to do or achieve something.
Examples:
the intent of a question, intent gaze. The designer's intent was to create a minimalist aesthetic for the interior of the building.
Blind:
unable to see, unable or unwilling to perceive or understand the true nature of something.
Examples:
blind to the beauties, blind spot. She was nearly blind due to severe diabetes.
Shotgun:
a firearm that is designed to be fired from the shoulder and that typically fires several small metal balls or pellets called shot.
Examples:
a shotgun marriage, a 12-gauge shotgun. The robbers used a shotgun to threaten the store clerk.
Rub.
To move one's hand or an object over the surface of something with pressure.
Examples:
Rub shoulders. Rub a glass window. She rubbed the sore spot on her leg to ease the pain.
Pellet.
A small, round piece of compressed material, such as wood or plastic.
Examples:
The form of a small pellet. Pellet stove. The pellet gun was used to shoot small metal balls.
Denial.
A statement that something is not true or does not exist.
Examples:
State of denial. An absolute denial. She gave us a categorical denial of the scandal.
Essentially.
Relating to the essential features or concepts of anything.
Examples:
Essentially correct. Become essentially same. Essentially, a society is an organism.
Microwave.
A form of electromagnetic radiation with wavelengths ranging from about 1 mm to 1 meter and frequencies between 300 MHz, 0.3 GHz, and 300 GHz, an electric oven that cooks food by exposing it to high-frequency electromagnetic radiation, which causes the food molecules to vibrate and heat up quickly.
Examples:
Microwave radiation. Microwave popcorn. I heated my leftover food in the microwave oven, which tasted just as good as freshly cooked.
Transmitter.
A piece of equipment used for generating and sending electronic signals, especially radio or television signals.
Examples:
A transmitter of a family line. Radio transmitter. This substance acts as a neurotransmitter substance.
Classic.
Judged or deserving to be regarded as one of the best or most important of its kind over a period of time, of a well-known type.
Examples:
A classic experiment. Chinese classic literature. He displayed the classic symptoms of depression.
Ray.
A narrow line of light, heat, or another form of energy.
Examples:
Opaque to X-rays. Effect of cosmic rays. Gamma rays penetrate body tissues and cause cell damage.
Distance.
The amount of space between 2 points, measured in units such as miles, meters, or kilometers, the extent, scope, or range between two things, such as distance or emotional distance.
Examples:
Driving distance. Social distance. The marathon runner covered a long distance in a short amount of time.
Sophisticated.
Having a great deal of worldly experience and knowledge of people's behavior, culture, and fashion.
Examples:
Sophisticated look. A sophisticated lifestyle. Marketing strategies are growing more sophisticated.
Molecule.
A group of two or more atoms held together by attractive forces known as chemical bonds.
Examples:
Small molecules. Molecule behavior. The shape of the DNA molecule is a double helix.
Massive.
Enormous amount, very heavy and solid.
Examples:
Massive amounts. Massive stars. The recent economic downturn has resulted in massive layoffs.
Recognize.
To acknowledge or realize something or someone. To identify, remember, or become aware of something that was previously known or encountered.
Examples:
Recognize talent. Recognize achievement. It's important to recognize your strengths and weaknesses.
Attitude.
The way you think and feel about someone or something.
Examples:
Attitude toward mistakes. Attitude control. She had the attitude that work was fun.
Jurisdiction.
The extent or range of authority, power, or control exercised by a particular entity or organization, such as a government or court, the area within which such authority or control is exercised.
Examples:
Local jurisdiction. Limited jurisdiction. The case fell under the jurisdiction of the state court system.
Escalate.
To increase in intensity, size, or severity, to make something greater, worse, or more serious.
Examples:
Escalate into a major international incident. To escalate. The situation quickly escalated and turned violent.
Absolute.
Perfect or complete, or to the most considerable degree possible.
Examples:
Absolute loyalty. An absolute must. Gandhi had an absolute zeal for nonviolence.
Resort.
A place where many people go for rest, sport, or another stated purpose. Verb, turn to or take a course of action, especially an extreme or undesirable one, to resolve a difficult circumstance.
Examples:
Resort to desperate measures. A last resort. If both countries resort to nuclear deterrence, the consequence could be mutual destruction.
Feces.
Waste matter eliminated from the bowels, excrement.
Examples:
Feces sample. Human feces. Proper disposal of feces is essential for maintaining public health and sanitation.
Rot.
To decay, or cause something to decay, naturally and gradually.
Examples:
Begin to rot. Rot with age. Please refrigerate the meat, or it will rot.
Turbine.
A machine that rotates to generate power from fluids such as water or gas.
Examples:
Turbine energy. Turbine airfoil. The wind turbines were spinning rapidly, generating clean energy for the nearby town.
Relate.
To establish a connection or association between two or more things. To narrate or tell about an event, experience, or relationship. To empathize or feel sympathy with someone or something.
Examples:
Relate a story. Relate a message. He tried to relate his experience to the group, but they couldn't understand.
Context.
The circumstances, facts, or conditions that surround a particular event, situation, or statement and that give it meaning.
Examples:
Historical context. Legal context. It's important to understand the context of a situation before making a decision.
Advocate.
A person who supports or suggests an idea, development, or way of doing something.
Examples:
An advocate of disarmament. Public education advocates. Advocates of abolishing the death penalty often argue that the alternative heaviest sentence should be life in prison.
Investigate.
To conduct a systematic or formal inquiry to identify and evaluate the facts of a crime, problem, statement, etc., to establish the truth.
Examples:
Investigate the matter. Investigate a data leak. The committee investigated several apparent inconsistencies.
Introduction.
A preliminary explanation or remarks given before the start of a text, performance, or event. The act of bringing something new into existence or introducing something to a wider audience or new market.
Examples:
Introduction education. Self-introduction. The introduction to the new class was informative and engaging.
Resin.
A sticky, viscous substance typically obtained from trees and plants, particularly conifers and evergreens, a material used in the manufacture of adhesives, plastics, and other products, particularly those that require stiffness or abrasion resistance.
Examples:
Tree resin. Synthetic resin. The guitar was coated with a resin layer to protect the wood and enhance the tone.
Capsicum.
A genus of flowering plants in the nightshade family, including various species of chili peppers, bell peppers, and other spicy peppers.
Examples:
Capsicum pepper. Capsicum extract. I added some chopped capsicum to my stir fry for an extra kick of flavor.
Broad.
Very wide, general.
Examples:
Attract broad attention. A broad mind. He accumulated wealth across a broad spectrum of assets.
Explicit.
Stated clearly and in detail, leaving no room for confusion or doubt.
Examples:
Explicit content. Explicit instructions. The movie had an explicit sex scene that some viewers might find offensive.
Heap.
An untidy pile or mass of something, a large number or amount or extent of something.
Examples:
A heap of trash. Top of the heap. A heap of old clothes was lying in the room.
Firearm.
A weapon that is designed to be fired and uses an explosive charge to propel a projectile, such as a bullet or a shell.
Examples:
Stolen firearm. Legal firearms. I am a responsible firearm owner who follows all safety protocols.
Individual.
A single person or thing, as distinct from a group.
Examples:
A private individual. Individual freedom. As an individual, he had the right to make his own decisions and live his life as he saw fit.
Institute.
An organization that has a specific purpose, particularly one dealing with science, education, or a particular profession. Verb, to initiate, introduce, or establish something.
Examples:
Institute a lawsuit. Research institutes. This region has many institutes offering higher education.
Criminology.
The scientific study of crime, criminals, and the criminal justice system, encompassing a wide range of disciplines, including sociology, psychology, law, and statistics, among others.
Examples:
Forensic criminology. Behavioral criminology. The professor of criminology conducted an extensive study on the relationship between poverty and crime.
Presence.
The fact or state that someone or something exists, occurs, or is present.
Examples:
The evidence of the presence. His majestic presence. The path to a solid online presence necessitates a high technical ability.
Arrow.
A thin, pointed projectile designed to be shot from a bow, a symbol or pointer that is shaped like an arrow.
Examples:
Arrow pointing. Arrow diagram. The archer aimed his arrow carefully at the target.
Represent.
To speak, act, or be present on behalf of another person or group, to form or constitute.
Examples:
Represent by a diagram. The characters that represent numbers. We elected him to represent us at the international conference.
Spike.
A narrow, thin, pointed piece of metal, wood, etc., a sudden large increase in the magnitude or concentration of something.
Examples:
To spike. To prevent blood sugar spikes. The recent spike in grain prices is partly due to the war in the producing countries.
Arthurian.
Relating to King Arthur and the tales and legends associated with him.
Examples:
The Arthurian cycle. Arthurian romances. The Arthurian legends of King Arthur and the Knights of the Round Table are popular literary motifs.
Consistent.
Always behaving or happening in the same way, or having the same thoughts, standards, etc.
Examples:
Do on a consistent basis. Get consistent results. You are not consistent in your behavior.
Stab.
To cause harm with a sharp, pointed object, such as a knife.
Examples:
Stab at the enemy with a knife. Stab in the chest. He was stabbed many times with scissors.
Alternative.
One of two or more available possibilities or choice.
Examples:
An alternative plan. There is no other alternative. Doctors are gradually coming around to the idea of using alternative medicines.
Limb.
An arm and leg of a person or animal.
Examples:
A prosthetic limb. Limb amputation. You should wrap the bandage carefully and firmly around the injured limb.
Examine.
To study or consider a person or object attentively and thoroughly to learn something about them.
Examples:
Examine the data studiously. Examine the issue. Initially, we must examine all project-related expenses.
Suspect.
To consider anything to be true or probable.
Examples:
Suspect a plot. Suspect that he is sick. The cops suspected him of being the killer.
Routinely.
On a regular or habitual basis, in a manner that is customary or expected.
Examples:
Routinely check. Routinely scheduled maintenance. They routinely conduct fire drills to ensure everyone in the building knows what to do in an emergency.
Complaint.
A statement that expresses dissatisfaction or annoyance about something.
Examples:
Complaint department. Complaint about price gouging. She filed a complaint with the manager about the poor service.
Violent.
Involving or caused by physical force or aggression against someone or something.
Examples:
Victim of a violent crime. Violent incident. The protesters became violent when the police tried to disperse them.
Frequent.
Happening constantly.
Examples:
Frequent absence. Frequent use. His heartaches are less frequent now.
Compliant.
Willing to comply with rules, requests, or demands.
Examples:
Compliant software. Compliant regulations. The company is committed to being compliant with industry regulations.
Indiscriminately.
Done without any distinction or selection, randomly or without careful consideration.
Examples:
Act indiscriminately. Lay off employees indiscriminately. The soldiers fired their weapons indiscriminately during the battle.
Fundamental.
Forming an essential base or core from which everything else develops or is affected.
Examples:
Fundamental education. Fundamental rights. Human behavior has fundamental characteristics.
Principle.
A fundamental law or truth that explains or controls how something happens or works.
Examples:
Principle of treatment. Principle in business. Efficiency isn't an essential principle here, fairness is.
Discriminate.
To treat a person or particular group of people worse or better than another, especially in an unfair way, to recognize or perceive the difference between people or things.
Examples:
Discriminate against women employees. Discriminate between different things. You should not discriminate against minorities.
Instance.
A particular example or single occurrence of something.
Examples:
For instance. Notable instance. These articles cite 5 instances of climate change.
Siege.
The surrounding of a place and isolating it by an army to defeat those defending it.
Examples:
Hostage siege. Lay siege to his house. People began storing up food and supplies for the siege.
Release.
To set free or allow to escape from confinement.
Examples:
Release a prisoner. Release CO2 into the air. The animal rights group worked to release the dolphins back into the wild.
Pump.
To cause water, air, gas, etc. to move from one place to another by using mechanical equipment, to get or supply something such as money, information, etc. in significant quantities.
Examples:
Pump a secret out of success. Pump blood throughout the body. He was alert and could not pump any critical information out of him.
Anesthetic.
A substance that is administered to a person or an animal to produce a loss of sensation or consciousness so that medical or surgical procedures can be performed without causing pain.
Examples:
Anesthetic injection. Local anesthetic. The dentist administered an anesthetic to numb the patient's mouth before the procedure.
Inhale.
To breathe in air or a different substance, such as smoke.
Examples:
Inhale the smoke. Inhale the aroma. He inhaled deeply, trying to calm down.
Unconscious.
In the state of lacking awareness and the capacity for sensory perception, especially as the result of a head injury or illness.
Examples:
Unconscious bias. A person who is unconscious. I know his unconscious habit that he touches his face when he lies.
Episode.
A happening or story that is distinctive in a series of related events, an abrupt short period during which someone suffers from the effects of a physical or mental illness.
Examples:
End of the first episode. Episode of vertigo. I want to put that episode of my life behind me.
Apparently.
Based on what you have heard or read.
Examples:
Apparently simple. Apparently unrelated. The police apparently believed this explanation was plausible.
Virtually.
Almost completely.
Examples:
Virtually all countries. Virtually identical. Virtually all the parties signed the contract.
Toll.
Money that you have to pay to use a particular road, bridge, etc. Verb, to ring slowly.
Examples:
A toll road. Toll a bell at his death. There is no toll car park nearby.
Unclear.
Poorly stated or described, and therefore not easy to understand, not easy to perceive.
Examples:
An unclear match. In no unclear terms. It is important not to undertake tasks with unclear objectives to improve productivity.
Chemical.
Relating to or connected with chemistry.
Examples:
Toxic chemicals. A chemical compound. The firm has grown into a large chemical manufacturing.
Convention.
A large formal assembly of people who do a particular job or have a similar interest or of a political party, something regarded as a normative example.
Examples:
Convention center, political convention. They met at biennial conventions.
Riot.
A violent disturbance of the peace by a crowd, characterized by destruction of property, looting, arson, and attacks on individuals.
Examples:
Riot police, riot control gas. The riots in the city have left many buildings damaged and several people injured.
Warfare.
The use of military force to achieve political, economic, or social objectives.
Examples:
Warfare aircraft, spiritual warfare. The country has been engaged in a prolonged conflict, with both sides using modern warfare tactics.
Multiply.
To add a number to itself a specified number of times, to increase or cause to increase very much in number or quantity.
Examples:
Multiply 5 and 6. Multiply about 100-fold. Multiply a number by itself twice.
Render.
To bring someone or something into a particular state, to provide something such as service, help, etc.
Examples:
Render an assessment. Render the contract void. The jury must render a decision on this complex case.
Custody.
The state of being physically responsible for something or someone, especially a child, a state of being confined, usually for a short time.
Examples:
Take a person into custody. Custody arrangement. After a lengthy court battle, the child's custody was granted to the father.
Mention.
To speak or write about something or someone briefly.
Examples:
Mention name. Mention in a report. I mentioned to him that I had seen his sister at the grocery store earlier that day.
Environment.
The natural world such as air, water, and land in which humans, animals, and plants live.
Examples:
Environment affairs. Chaotic environment. Every human is responsible for taking care of the Earth's environment.
Glove.
A piece of clothing worn on the hand and wrist for protection against cold, dirt, etc., with separate parts for each finger.
Examples:
A right-hand glove. 5-finger glove. She was wearing a black glove.
Contaminate.
To make something impure, unclean, or poisonous by contact or mixture.
Examples:
Contaminate with a disease. Contaminate his ego. We strive not to contaminate the environment when demolishing petroleum plants.
Traffic.
The movement of vehicles, people, or goods along a route or through a transport system, the amount of such movement in a particular place or at a particular time.
Examples:
Traffic jam. Heavy traffic. We decided to take a detour to avoid the construction traffic on the main road.
Confess.
To admit to having done something wrong or to reveal something personal or private.
Examples:
Confess sin. Confess truth. He confessed to his crime and turned himself into the police.
Pique.
A feeling of irritation or resentment, often caused by a perceived slight or insult. Verb, to cause to feel resentment or indignation.
Examples:
Out of pique. Pique the curiosity. He slammed the door in a fit of pique.
Fellow.
Someone who has the same job or interests as you, or is in the same class, profession, or situation as you.
Examples:
Junior fellow. Nice fellow. He is the kind of fellow who only works for his success.
Naval.
Of or relating to ships, sailors, or the Navy.
Examples:
Naval battles. Naval base. The naval officer was responsible for the safety and well-being of the crew on his ship.
Academy.
A school for special training, a type of official organization that aims to encourage and develop standards in its particular field.
Examples:
An academy of music. A member of the Academy. Her new documentary earned her an Academy Award.
Argue.
To express differing opinions or points of view, often in a heated or contentious manner, to present a case or reasoning to persuade or convince others.
Examples:
Argue a case. Argue passionately. The couple began to argue over which restaurant to go to for dinner.
Eventually.
Finally, particularly after a long time or a lot of struggle, complications, and so on.
Examples:
Eventually become obsolete. Eventually succeed. The corporation eventually dominated the entire tobacco business.
Capture.
To catch a person or an animal and confine them in an area which they cannot escape.
Examples:
Capture a glimpse. Capture customers' hearts. I was able to capture the moment on film.
Appropriate.
Suitable or proper in the circumstances, fitting.
Examples:
Appropriate behavior. An appropriate time. It would be appropriate to dress nicely for the wedding.
Chief.
Most important or primary, noun, a person who is in charge.
Examples:
Chief accountant. Chief events of the year. Mining is a chief source of income for the country.
Suppose.
To think that something is likely to be actual or possible.
Examples:
Suppose you're right. Suppose beforehand. What do you suppose the culprit's motive was?
Elementary.
Relating to the first principles or fundamental parts of a subject, fundamental or basic, often used to refer to a school or level of education that covers the fundamental principles of various subjects.
Examples:
Elementary math. Elementary level. Elementary school students must learn basic math and reading skills.
District.
A part of a country or town, especially one with particular features.
Examples:
School districts. Urban districts. Since 2001, the district has provided training programs for automotive technicians.
Policy.
A set of rules, guidelines, principles, or procedures that govern decision-making or action, often used in the context of business or government. A course of action or plan of action adopted or followed by an organization or individual to achieve a goal or objective.
Examples:
Health policy. Foreign policy. The company's new policy on remote work has made it a more inclusive workplace.
Aft.
The opposite of forward, located at or towards the rear or back of a ship, aircraft, or other vehicle.
Examples:
Aft cabin. Aft view. The aft section of the ship suffered significant damage after the collision with the reef.
Shock.
A strong feeling or physical reaction to a sudden and unexpected event or experience, especially something unpleasant.
Examples:
Death from shock. Shock resistant. He got an electric shock at work.
Stun.
To make a person or an animal unconscious or dizzy, especially by hitting them on the head, to make someone surprised or shocked greatly.
Examples:
Stun fish. Stun an audience. This sprinter stunned the world with his speed.
Zap.
To strike, destroy, get rid of, or kill something or someone suddenly and with force.
Examples:
Zap a huge target. Zap barcode. They provided allies with powerful weapons that could zap the enemy from thousands of miles away.
Colleague.
One of a group of a coworker, especially in a profession or a business.
Examples:
Collaborate with colleagues. Former colleague. I decided to seek counseling on the advice of my colleague.
Disabled.
Having a physical or mental condition that limits someone's specific actions that most other people can do.
Examples:
A disabled veteran. A learning disabled child. She was disabled in a car accident.
Threaten.
To utter intentions of injury or punishment against someone.
Examples:
Threaten a healthy relationship. Threaten national security. Various artificially induced causes are threatening our ecosystem.
Relevance.
The state or degree of being closely connected or appropriate to the matter at hand.
Examples:
Have no relevance. Relevance category. The relevance of this information to the current situation needs to be investigated.
Restrain.
To prevent or hold back from doing something, often by physical or moral force, to limit or restrict one's actions or behavior, to control or moderate strong emotions or impulses.
Examples:
Restrain from violence. Restrain a child. The police had to restrain the suspect after he became violent during the arrest.
Inevitably.
In a manner that cannot be avoided or prevented.
Examples:
Inevitably decline with age. Inevitably reach the consumer. Because of his excellent performance, he will inevitably be promoted.
Nasty.
Very bad, unpleasant, or offensive.
Examples:
A nasty smell. Receive a nasty surprise. The weather turned nasty.
Comply.
To obey an order, set of rules, or request.
Examples:
Comply with a code. Fully comply with all laws. The public schools comply with federal standards.
Abuse.
The use of something in an incorrect or harmful manner.
Examples:
The problem of drug abuse. Victim of sexual abuse. Our company has an audit team that monitors directors for abuse of authority.